Greetings, programs. This is Wretch, and welcome back to Supposedly Wonderful Future. And we are in the middle of a trip down memory lane, guys, with this strange disembodied voice, which I guess is Harvey Martin, and he can see the exact same things that we see, so I'm not exactly sure where this is going. We've kind of looked through different scenes from Harvey's life. It's been a very interesting conversation. We've got two more pictures to look at, and then this ominous black frame, which is yet to light up. So let's go ahead and continue on our journey here. Looks like a fireplace. Ah, it's Christmas. How about your parents? Are they still around? Do you get along? Yeah, we get along well. Or we get along well enough. That's great. Sadly, I couldn't say the same about mine. Even when I was little, they were doing a pretty poor job. During my teen years, screaming and fighting became commonplace. Once I moved out, we just stopped interacting altogether, and it stayed like this for ages. Hell, they didn't even know I got married. When they first heard about my wife, our children were already going to school. Any particular reason for that? Mostly stupid, petty things, piling up with time. They weren't abusive addicts or anything, just bad at parenting. And I was your average angsty adolescent, slowly evolving into an average angsty adult. As years went by, however, we started to get in touch more frequently. Age had mellowed us all, I suppose. Made more willing to compromise and value existing relationships, even if they were far from perfect. They moved to a nearby neighborhood. Our children welcomed the increase of people who were always willing to play with them, and soon enough we were visiting each other every weekend. It's a wise choice. Family's important. And it's not like we magically turned into exemplary relatives. It felt forced and strained in the beginning. There was still a lot of arguing, though we always tried to do it out of our kids' earshot. But gradually, the tension subsided. We got used to each other's idiosyncrasies, learned when to stop pushing and when to let go. It became more natural, even peaceful. Before we realized it, we were genuinely enjoying our time together. I remember one day in particular. It was a golden moment, if you will. It was late November, but my parents were already set for Christmas, determined to give their grandchildren a full month of holiday cheer. The four of them were so busy and happy together, they barely needed us. Like, literally, my wife and I went out for 30 minutes to get food, and nobody even noticed. Good stuff. And the best part? It wasn't your typical kind but clueless old folks stuff. My daughter was talking about this new video game, and my dad knew about it, because he actually played it. She mentioned it the week before, so he did his homework. He, a gray-haired grandpa. The gap between generations just didn't exist there. And I thought to myself, you know what? I'm glad we gave each other another chance. They really did good this time. And besides, damn, they were both pushing 80, so that's pretty cool, right? You can't possibly be mad at someone who's 80. You just feel the sheer respect for all the experience they had, for all the hard times they've been through, but still refuse to bite the dust. Which sucks, because when the Life Plus stuff happened, they'd be stuck at 80. Or I know the aging would go back a little bit, but considering the circumstances, I'd say 80 is amazing. Well, as fate would have it, they both died within a year of that day. He went first, a little while after having a stroke. Funny how these things can remove a person even before they actually pass away. Half of the body paralyzed, speech disorder settles in, and off he goes. Into some unknown state of mind I have no access to. I'm really sorry. She, however, had a more smooth transition. Dementia was catching up, but there were good days, just as there were bad ones. One day stood out above all, a day of almost perfect clarity. The day when a senile old woman was free to rediscover everything in her surroundings, including her grandchildren who were visiting again. She looked positively excited. She leaned to my son and she smiled and said, "You have your mother's eyes." Didn't you say your kids were adopted? You're right. I did. I guess her clarity wasn't as perfect as I imagined. Oh, and there's the ominous last screen. We still got one more here. Gotta be thorough. And what am I looking at here? What the hell is this? A forgotten tragedy. In April 2036, an asteroid called Apophis hit Earth, and 10 million people died. Apophis? Actually, I think I did remember reading this in the paper. I recall reading something like this. It was supposed to miss. Oh, and now it's... Yeah, supposed to. There must have been an error in the calculations, but they only realized it later on. Back then, nobody saw it coming. Or more precisely, a lot of people did, but for a very different reason. It should have been a flyby, close enough to be seen with the naked eye, a curious celestial event for the enthusiast to gaze at. When the truth became clear, Apophis was already entering the atmosphere. And even then, what were the chances? 3/4 of the planet's surface is water, not all land is inhabited, and only a fraction of it is in urban areas. Yet here it was, falling on a densely populated city filled with skyscrapers. And hours later, skyscrapers were no more. I don't know who had it worse. Those who were burned to death within seconds, or those who slowly died under the rubble, or those who were farther away. Yeah, the latter could still live, but it felt like they forgot how to. They were just walking around in a daze at the border of the impact crater, looking at the new face of their home. So hard to build and so easy to shatter. Where did it happen? Which city? It doesn't have a name anymore. The details were lost in a decade of different events. In the end, the world keeps going. Sun still shines, rain still falls. TV reporters give us updates on the evening news, but that's all they are. News. How do you deal with deaths on the news? Thank God it wasn't me. And then you carry on with your day. No, that's not right. Others care. There are folks who drop everything and volunteer to help. Compassion isn't dead. I'd really like to believe that as well. And I, for once, won't forget. I refuse to forget. I'm tired of this detachment. These 10 million, they were people. Every single one of them. So many goals never achieved, so many feelings never felt, so many hopes lost, so many dreams. So many dreams. Hey, it's not your fault. You don't have to torture yourself. It's not a torture. And maybe, just maybe, it's a little help. Maybe we truly die only when we're forgotten. In that case, I'll just have to keep thinking about them. That is something I can do. That's in my power. Okay, and suddenly a asteroid hits and we're in deep impact. Where was Bruce Willis and Steven Tyler? And Ben Affleck? Why weren't they on the case? Is that the gang? Oh yeah, this one's gonna be good. How so? Well, let's just say there's time to get all contemplative about life, and there's time to simply enjoy it. As much as I lean towards the former, this is the latter. This, dear friend, is my university graduation party. I mean, sure, they start with a fancy pants ceremony where old geezers give you priceless advice about goals and plans and dreams and blah blah blah, but that's a snooze fest. Everyone's waiting for the real deal that happens after, and boy, does the real deal deliver. First order of business, a lap of honor around the dorms in our rocket refrigerator. Rocket refrigerator? Or rocket bathtub if you prefer. It's actually a car that gives them a tow, but we attach flares at the back so they just look like moving rockets. Gotta start using that engineering degree in real life, am I right? Then part 2, pub crawl. 12 places, 12 pints. One for each term we spent studying. 12 pints? Oh, were you graduating from university or from life? Oh, that's okay. That's the world's end run. That's a tall order. Yeah. Even the toughest of us decided to stop after 10. Seemed fair, as even the nerdiest of us had a couple of terms when they were slacking off. Part 3, games. And by games, I mean rigorous contests that test your agility, stamina, and reaction time with absolutely no regard to the amount of alcohol in your body. This leads to some interesting situations, as you might imagine. Limbo will be my favorite forever. Then part 4, dance club, because at this point even the most self-conscious folks are ready to let it go and wave it just like wave it like they just don't care. Besides, there's always a bar offering a great selection of drinks and drinking games for those who already missed parts 2 and 3. Sounds like one hell of a party. It sure was. Then again, it wasn't about the activities. It's the day itself that was magical. That last sweetest stop in the life of comfortable certainty. That elusive carefree state when only great things lie ahead. That single day when the world feels ripe for conquering and all your problems are just so far away. Well, try not to lose that feeling. So I do my best, believe me. I do my very best. Anyway, I think there are supposed to be parts 5 and 6, but nobody ever made it this far. And neither did we, so we took it easy instead and hit the streets, waiting for the sun to rise. Just chilling out, chatting, telling old jokes. Hey, want to hear some? What's the difference between a recent graduate and a large pizza? A large pizza can feed a family of 4. Think I've heard a different variation of it. Gotta respect the classics. Here's another one. Why did the student throw a watch out of the window? He wanted to see time fly. Oh, and this one is good too. Why did the skeleton miss the dance party? He didn't have anybody to take. Look, I'm not really into the... Actually, it's true because that kind of broke the... I'm not really into this whole emotional roller coaster thing. I'm still thinking about your asteroid tragedy. Oh, come on. Roller coasters are fun. I have to admit, though, that last joke irked me a bit back at the time. I mean, the guy who told it clearly didn't have such problems. He was preparing to marry the hottest sweetheart on campus, and the two of them were killing it on the dance floor throughout the night. But an unpopular single guy like me, with no girlfriend in sight, for a moment, I really felt for the poor skeleton. Wait a second. Single? Well, yeah. I wasn't married at the time. Did you assume I was? At the time? You mean this part happens before the one with your wife? Well, sure. I mean, that must be the case because, how could it happen before if you and your wife met when you were students? When we were students? Did I really say that? Yes, you did. You also said you waited with your honeymoon until after graduation. That means you were already married at this point. Well, wait, I know. This must be a different university altogether. This is where I got my bachelor's degree. I met my wife while I was getting my master's. See? Problem solved. Uh-huh. Yeah. I wonder. There's nothing to worry about, I promise. Ooh. Okay. And the music just stopped. And what's this? A bonus memory? No idea. I don't think it should be here. Let's ignore it. Don't you want to remember the whole story? But there's even a sound this time. You hear? These people are having a conversation. Mr. Martin, can you hear me? Mr. Martin? Not sure I like how it sounds, but whatever. It's just a name. It's not a name, it's the name. You're a real one. Are you aware of your addiction to virtual reality, Mr. Martin? Addiction is such a dirty word. We're all addicted to something. Oh, I didn't mean it to sound negative. It's just that your situation is pretty unique. It seems that you've been using it so intently, you've managed to fool your own brain. You don't just relate to the characters of fictional stories, you are the characters. You think that their lives are your real lives, all at once. You treat your favorite scenes from games and movies as if they're your fondest personal memories. So, we believe this is a serious, life-threatening condition. You're a former employee of Life Plus, so it is our responsibility to... Life Plus? Wait, is this the real world? I thought I managed to drop it for good. How come I'm aware of this conversation? We gave you a medication. It's proved to temporarily bring you back to your senses. Why are you inside my apartment? I never invite anyone to my apartment. How did you guys even appear on my doorstep again? I left you like a year ago. Or was it a month? I can't remember. We let ourselves in. You know, we monitored the well-being of our former colleagues. We were worried, and rightfully so. I didn't ask for your help. Mr. Martin, you are spending 22 hours a day with your VR headgear on. For the rest of the time, you're wandering around like a zombie, eating food, drinking water, relieving yourself, all with being barely aware of your surroundings. So, don't you think it's great that my brain figured out how to do what I want and still sustain my body? Actually, no. Your brain is clearly suffering. According to our scans, you developed a mental illness akin to schizophrenia, and there's an indication of further physical deterioration. If you keep going like this, there's a high chance you will fall into a coma and eventually die. Well, then you just leave your wonderful meds at my place and be on your way. It's not that simple. The effect is diminishing with each dose. Your body is developing a resistance. We have to try behavior therapy, for lack of a better word. With your help, we can design a special VR experience with your most important memories in it. Then you'll share it with our specialist, and who will try to guide you from the inside toward realizing that none of them are real. If your mind can see all the confusion by its own volition, perhaps it will reestablish the line between life and fiction. Oh, so we're the specialist. I refuse. Mr. Martin, please. Please what? You don't get to decide how I live my life. It's my choice, do you hear me? Your choice is unreasonable. You can't enjoy your fantasies if you're dead. I can't enjoy them if I leave VR either. I'll not return to the real world, and I'd rather go out with a bang. Whatever time I have left, I'll take it. What if we can extend this time? What if we're able to remove the negative effects without forcing you to abandon your addiction? I didn't realize this was an option. But it is. Like I said, your case is unique, so we don't know what will happen until we try it. It's possible the therapy will make you more mentally resilient. Then you'll be able to use VR without suffering such damage. You mean it? There's a chance? Yes. Fine. Let's do it, but if it doesn't work, I want you to leave me alone. You have our word. You lied to it. I guess they left the apartment? You lied to him. I didn't. I simply confirmed there's a chance. Yeah, right. There's also a chance that aliens are hiding among us. Well, there is. Whether it's high or low is a whole different matter. Is that your excuse? What are we, salesmen? You saw the calculations, and it's pretty damn clear. His brain can take another 3 or 4 months of this at tops. And at a certain point, it'll be too late to turn back. The guy either returns to real life soon or turns into a vegetable. Look, what do you want from me? It's not my fault the higher-ups are pushing for this experiment. We're instructed to convince him, even if it means bending the truth. We're also instructed to include the full truth into his VR set. He'll know it before making the final decision. Hell, I'll even go ahead and include this very conversation. Can't let your crowning moment of righteousness go to waste. Oh dear. Oh my god. I remember now. I remember everything. Harvey? But I don't want to... Why? Why did I have to remember? Look, No. Oh crap, what do we do? What do we do? Go away. I want to help, Harvey. I don't want to hear it. You people will say anything to get your way. I'm just a part of your to-do list, am I not? A small item to cross so you can improve your public image and feel good about it? I'm not who you think I am. Well, who else can you be? You're the specialist, the man who's here to fix me, whether I want it or not. Maybe, but that doesn't make us enemies. I'm on the company's to-do list as well. Yeah, right. I'm serious. If you want to blame someone, you blame Life Plus. I'm just forced to play along. I don't believe you. I won't believe a word you say. Let's see. Look, I know we can't see each other, but don't you hear my voice? Don't you notice any genuine emotions in it? Why would I put on such an elaborate act? Is it not possible that I'm simply trying to help you? Genuine emotions? Don't make me laugh. You're not even really here, are you? You're just staring at a screen. You can't take a dive, can't exist in virtual reality like I do. Actually, I think I can. I didn't realize that we were inside a simulation. I don't remember putting on a headset or anything. All I remember is going to bed the night before. Are you saying that you're like me? You use VR so much your mind can't tell the difference? No, the opposite. Save for a simple conversation yesterday, I've never tried VR in my life. That might make you susceptible. We're both extremes, albeit from different ends of the spectrum. But this changes nothing. I have made my choice, and it's not up for debate. Please leave. Oh, this is interesting. Are we just going along the entire... Please go away. I want to be left alone with my memories. Look, I'm just trying to understand. I don't recommend it. I've been trying to understand today too, and look where it got me. So none of this has happened to you in real life? No. Nothing happens to me in real life. It's like your childhood in the slums, your crazy honeymoon, your moments with parents and kids. None of this is real? The street is real. The street is all there is. I walk down the street every morning. It takes 17 minutes to cover the distance. Yes, you mentioned that before. After 17 minutes, I reach the office, but the office is no better. Same faces, same conversations, same tasks, same desks, same screens, same blasted things over and over again for so long. I couldn't take it anymore. I had to escape. Look, I know real life can be a chore, but is this place really worth it? We watched the memories together and you still have to ask? Didn't they make you feel anything? Didn't you see how beautiful, how emotional, how fulfilling they are? I felt they were all over the place, really. But you still felt something. I stopped feeling anything in real life. The brain adapts, you know? If you keep feeding it the same things for 1,000 times, it will stop reacting. But why these memories? Some of them are just sad. I don't mind sad. I like tragic, heartbreaking stories. They remind me of impermanence and the urge to value little things while I still can. What I can't stand is emptiness. I will not return to emptiness. But this is a pretty extreme form of escaping. Couldn't you do it in moderation? No. Even a few waking hours were too much of a reminder. I wanted to dissolve in virtuality. And once I did, there was no regret. But are you sure that remembering the same scenes over and over again is better? But that's the point. It's just a small sample. Do you realize how many more wonderful memories I've made? How bigger and wider they are than anything real life can offer? I've seen things you people wouldn't believe. Nice Blade Runner reference. Hundreds of worlds, thousands of journeys. I wish others could see it like I do. I wish humanity could appreciate this wonder they've created. But this is not healthy. You can't run away from your problems into imaginary lands. And why the heck not? Isn't that what everybody's doing? What everybody's been encouraged to do? Your corporate-funded entertainment is screaming at my face. Epic journeys, awesome quests, breathtaking action. Go on, have a seat, unwind, relax, forget about it all. Purchase a special pass for 24-hour access. And when I do, you tell me to stop? Bunch of hypocrites, that's what you are. And then you escaped. Completely. 1,440 minutes in a day. 120 minutes to use VR. Only 120 minutes are meaningful. I changed it. I made it 1,440. What's wrong with that? I wish nothing would be wrong, but we both heard that last recording, and we know about your situation. That's what Life Plus says. Life Plus are liars. Maybe not you, but others. We can't trust what they say, but we can't disregard it either. They could have made everything up for all I know. There's no problem here. Don't you understand? Oh man, Okay, I'm going to tell you what. We are going to end the episode here, guys. We're going to try and convince him more, Harvey, in the next episode. I did not expect this to take the direction that it did. But if you guys like the episode, please leave a like down below. Subscribe to the channel, leave a comment. That'd be a big help. And we'll see you next time. Later days, everyone.